Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, and this is my second time kind of getting this going. I just want to say that a lot of things are happening since this last moon, this last full moon. A lot of downloads, people that I've been speaking with, posts that I've been reading, inbox messages that I've gotten, telephone calls, and so forth and so on. Um, a big shift has occurred, and this shift is lifting us out of the third dimension with our emotions and with our understandings of them. And with this shift, there's a big realization and a lot of questions about that go deeper into your own understanding of yourself, of how you process things and how you digest things, how you share things, what your spiritual intentions are. And beloveds, right now, I would say that the veil is so thin. It is so thin right now. All you have to do is have an open mind to have things resonate with you, to align your frequency to receive. All you have to do is have an open mind. And if you don't know how to put yourself in a calm enough, at peace enough state to do that, pray. Pray for your revelations. Pray for something to speak to you. Pray for a sign. Pray, beloveds. When you pray, you are using your sovereignty to connect with the universal source that gave that sovereignty to you. Okay? And you are birthing and creating and sending a request. Okay? And being a child of the universe, you will receive. But you've got to believe. That's the key. You've got to know who you are. You've got to know who you are. And in knowing who you are, you've got to understand that you are evolving. Okay? It is not about how many mistakes you've made. It is not about how many times you've been hurt. It is not about the wrong that you have done, no matter how wrong it is. Forgive yourself and allow yourself to evolve. Okay? Allow yourself to ascend. Raise yourself back up off of that floor. Give yourself some value with your self-love. Empower yourself to rise and take off those limitations that somebody else gave you. You don't have to accept them. You don't have to believe them. But what you do have to do, beloveds, is to know yourself. You are not me, I am not you. You are not your mama, your daddy, your grandma. You are you. Your name has a significant, unique vibration to it. No matter how many other people share that same name, you are the one whose signature resonates uniquely. Everybody's resonates uniquely. Okay? Be you. Find out who you are. Define, design you. You know, I started looking at videos, tarot reading videos, and I was going to this one sister's site on YouTube, and on her site I saw other readers, and I've had friends and a mentor to suggest some people to me. And Tilly is one, and I love Tilly. I just love her peace. She has a peace, baby, that speaks of pure love and strength and insight. Many, many lifetimes, many cultures. Okay? And I just want to acknowledge you and say, I see you. And alchemy. Oh my God. I was so blown away by your videos and your accuracy and the comfortableness that you have in the power of the spirit that you are, and that you came here to be. And I just want to say, namaste, sister, namaste, because I bow to you, because I recognize and I know what it takes to be so free with how we need to move, and the creativity, that we have to do to be okay in this world, to be that shining divine spirit that we are, those warrior priestesses that are here to give birth to change, those midwives, cosmic midwives that are here to serve. We are here to serve because we see you as family. And I just want to thank all the light workers, because what I really think, another thing that is going on, is that we are tapping more into the collective of our spiritual selves. Those who have raised their vibrations with self-love. You are opening up the doors, the portals, whatever you want to call them. The energy, you're tapping into those energy frequencies of soulmates. Okay, those who you've lived other lifetimes with, in many different forms and many different relationships with. And you're connecting again with those, because those are the ones, just like I say, I'm a firstborn daughter. I am starting to connect now with other firstborn daughters and firstborn sons. And I feel it, okay? And baby, when you hear me talking about family, understand what I'm saying. I'm not just saying the physical, the blood, or the adopted, or who you grew up with. That is the foundation of every other family relationship or understanding that you'll have of it. But what I'm really talking about, beloveds, is your spiritual family. Your spiritual family, okay? And I want you to understand that these spiritual families are timeless. It's immortal, okay? It's going to run its course. It's going to run its course. as above, so below. Okay? But we are back. We've evolved. We've, you know, arrived at a vibration where we're there on this precipice of where we can now tap into that frequency and connect with those who can support us, because it's about to get deep, you know. And there is nothing to fear, because everything has been put in place for the evolution. The evolution has been prophesied. It's there. But what we are here to do, and what we are coming in droves to do, and what the indigos have done to prepare us, okay, we're ready for that now. That's what this new moon, this new past full moon, and the energies, cosmic, astronomical energies that we're entering into right now, that's what is happening. And beloveds, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's really exciting, because when you really start to connect to yourself as a spirit inhabiting a human form, and really understanding and connecting and believing that before there was matter, there was spirit, and you were part of that spirit. And all you have to do is know that and tap into that and keep thinking that and keep speaking that. Excuse me, I'm spitting all over the place, and I don't care. Beloveds, I'm still kind of full with spirit right now, okay? And I just want to say, it's getting ready to be good for family. And one of the downloads that I got was life brings us adversity so that we can tap into what and who we are in order to strengthen ourselves. It's like breaking out of the egg, kind of. What came first, the chicken or the egg, you know? It's that kind of philosophy. And I need you to understand that you are so many people have ideas of what the word magical beings are. Okay? There's a difference between a magical being and a spiritual being. Okay? A magical being invented and created itself. Okay? And into something else, because it did not begin that way, and it lessens itself. Okay? Magic is a lower form of spirituality. I am not, the way society uses the word magic, is wrong. Okay, and if you go back to the Magi, okay, you'll understand that when you start messing with frequencies, You tap into some things that have always been spirit as well, but have been banished or contained or bound, okay? And you go and you tap with that. You mess with it. You open it. And that now brings into you what you call good and bad. The necessity and the need for balance. Spirit is already balanced. It's already in order. It does not need to depend upon nature because it created nature, okay? And so when you hear that there's a war between the powers and the principalities, understand what's going on. And those, like I said, that can see, we see. And there's an African proverb that says, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase it, that when somebody offers you advice and wisdom, and you get in your ego and in your pride, and you don't want to take it, then you let adversity teach them. Baby, adversity has been kicking our human asses, okay? Our spiritual self, we didn't forgot who we are. And it's time to remember. And it's time to forgive yourself. And it's time to know and depend upon that spirit who is you, who has always been you. No matter the name it was given, you were designed with a divine frequency given to you by wisdom. Baby, it don't get no better than that. Stop believing in things that are less than, because that's what created money and the need for it. Okay? That's what created that. And when it did that, it was designed to tear family apart. Because what mattered most when someone passed over, who was the heir and was going to get their things? Who was going to get those things? But before that time, in the spiritual time, it was who was going to get that spiritual gift, that transfer, that love, that heart, that soul energy. That was the inheritance. And most times it was the firstborns. Beloveds, we have got to get back to knowing who we are. And we have got to understand what mirrors are and what they're designed to do. Reflect and protect. reflect, and protect. Understand all of the bodies in the heavens that move, reflect, and protect. As above, so below. There's lots going on, beloveds, like I said. And I'm going to do a little reading because, like I said, the downloads have been deep. And, excuse me, it's been a couple of my experiences in other dimensions, I'll put it that way for those who know what I'm talking about. There is a lot of sexual energy that's coming forward. And I'm thinking a lot of this is what is increasing the awareness of the frequencies. If you're starting to dream or travel and you're having inner or outer sexual encounters or experiences, someone told me, because I had an experience, but the experience was with myself. Okay? And I was told to think about that. That was a higher form of myself downloading and communicating. And there's a reason that it was sexual. And there's a reason, that I've been celibate for over 20 years. And like I said, I've been molested. I've been raped twice. My sexuality for me is not a joke. Me being a spiritual person, I know, that's your light. That's how you shine. That's how you transmit, some energy and some power and transfer it. And that's how you anchor and you also draw. That's how life is created. Why wouldn't it be that powerful? Okay? Beloveds, we're waking up, and I'm glad of that. But I'm also looking at those who are so caught up in stirring the shit pot. Do you know how many people then shitted in that pot? And I want it to be graphic for you. I want you to be able to smell it. I want you to be able to see it. I want you to be able to see people squatting down on a pot and shitting in it. Okay? Putting all they waste, all their dirt, all their unspiritual things, all their crud, all their waste into that shit pot. All of their complaints, all of their bitching, whining, and moaning. And here you come. Adding to the shit pot. Instead of, no more shit pots. We gonna invent something else. There's no more shit pots and no more shit pot stirrers. That's enough of that. What is your purpose with that? Stirring up shit. Stirring up people's emotions. Getting them thinking negative shit. Getting them in negative frequencies. Okay, you're lowering them. You're not building them up, baby. And that's what pisses me off. And that's why I don't get in every single little fight or every little thing. I beat and wore myself out. Because some of y'all, all y'all know how to do is hate and hate on each other. Okay? And I ain't got time for that. That's why I say, y'all in this third dimension, all I can do is pray for you. All I can do is pray for you. And I'm learning not even to get triggered by you anymore. That's where I am at, because I'm raising my vibration by loving myself enough to know when somebody is trying to drain me, is trying to pull me down to your level of thinking and reasoning and having my spirit all jacked up with emotions, because now my chakras are not flowing the way they need to. Okay, my crown then fell off. My third eye then went blind, because I'm listening to you and your hate and your bitterness and your fears and your anger, and you stirring that shit up in me. And now you got me feeling a certain way too. And we all just having a good old time with the shit pot. Talking shit. Baby, my heart hurts for you. My heart hurts for you. Because, like I said, we all began as spiritual brothers and sisters, as a spiritual mass before form was ever even fully conceived. So to listen to my beautiful spiritual brother who thinks he is so wise and he knows it all and can't nobody tell him nothing, and you're talking about something that took place when? I'm not saying don't remember who hurt you. I'm not saying don't remember who hurt your people. I'm not saying don't remember who hurt the earth. I'm not saying don't remember those who hurt the original mama, the original spirit, by falling into disbelief. That's how deep I get. And I say that with all humility, because I used to be you. Okay? That's why I can talk shit with you. Because I know about that shit pot. And I know about stirring it and manipulating and all of that bullshit. But I'm here to tell you now, that's not my purpose. But when I see so many of y'all falling into that trap, falling into that state, falling into that low vibrational trap bullshit that's been designed to keep and anchor you there, because you cannot rise your mind into your own sovereignty and find your strength in that. You got to latch on to some bullshit. Okay? You got to latch on to some anger and some hate, some low vibrating spiritual energy, some magical bullshit created by a different being, individual, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Another snake. We'll put it that way. Understand we are both of those strands. But it is the evolution and the integration of those strands that allow you to rise. Just like this curl here. There's a frequency inside of your body. So all of y'all trying to say it's the hair, it's the antenna, and for a lot of it, it is, because I'm going to tell you how our spiritual evolutionary process did that. It arose from that. And that's how it channeled itself from inside to outside. What does hair do? When the wind passes it, what does it do? It picks up frequency. It's like a conductor. It's like an energy magnet. Okay? Remember that movie Avatar? Those little things that were connecting, that you had to connect to somebody else with, and when you got your little magical whatever thing that was that you were riding, you stuck, yours, and you connected with those strands. Our hair is like that. And if you understand it to be like that, and you see it inside of yourself, you visualize it with your imagination, and you understand that you can send that out to others and connect with them. Just like in the Avatar, that's that spiritual energy. Those are the ones that you are your soulmates. And you're all there in that cluster. It was shown to me like a blackberry. Just like a blackberry, and that blackberry has all of those little cells. And inside all of those little cells, each one has other clusters of cells in it. And this is the soul connections that a lot of us have. It's in those different layers, just like those different dimensions. And okay, I can tell I'm up there. So let me bring it down a little bit. Okay. That's better. Let's do the reading, beloveds. Let's do the reading. Another word that has been kind of going on with me, that when I was listening to alchemy, the Alchemy for One, I believe it is, or just look up alchemy on YouTube for tarot cards, and you should be able to find her. But there's a word that she used. I was compelled to do this. I'm compelled to do that. And that word gave me a whole new understanding. I just stole the word from her. I want her to know that I stole it from you. Instead of saying I'm spirit led, I am compelled now. I am compelled. Because when you're led, you're like you got a choice, Compelled, you don't have no choice. It's just, and the more you practice getting in touch with that, oh baby, that's bliss, okay? That that is bliss. And if you've never experienced bliss and you heard about people talking about what bliss really is, it's being able to connect with yourself in that manner. Is very powerful. Being compelled, understanding. Remember when I was just speaking about that sexual energy with myself, that I kind of traveled and whatever. This is what I'm speaking to. That you connect with a higher part of yourself when you communicate. And through that connection, there is now a frequency in you. And it's almost like time travel. It's using that Merkaba, because I've been meditating on that as well. And I can tell I'm getting there. The thoughts are pouring, and I'm jumping. Okay, grounding, back to the cards. Forgive me, beloveds. This is powerful. You know, like I said, waking up with this energy and these understandings and these thoughts, and you know, I'm not. I know that I'm a lot at times, and some of the things that I bring, you know, out of me and that I'll share. I'm not the only one that feels and thinks and hears and smells and knows these things. I'm one of the ones that'll talk about it without shame and reservation and apology. That's the difference. Okay? That's the difference. And the more you get to unplugging yourself from this matrix, from this conformity, from this cloning, from this mimicking, from this everybody has to be the same. This pure race bullshit. Like I said, magic created itself. Spirit has no beginning and has no ending. Magic does. There's a lot going on, beloveds. Okay, I'm going to pull a card. I'm just going to shut my mouth and pull a card because, whew. Okay. I'll pull 3. The beginning, the end, and yeah, this is the big one right here. Temple of Black Obsidian, the Dark Healing Chamber. I love this one because, first of all, look at the symbology. And I'm not going to point it all out to you. I want you to see it, actually see it for yourself. I want you to see the geometry. I want you to look at the mathematics of it. I want you to look at the dimensions. I want you to see the light and the shadow parts of it. I want you to really come up with your own interpretation of what you see in this card. Look at the dimensions. I really want you to see. Okay? This is the Temple of Black Obsidian, the Dark Healing Chamber. And it was the middle card. Okay, it was the one that I let energy go straight there instead of saying, okay, trusting the bottom and the top. I said, energy, I said, Mama, give me a card. Give me one you want. Give me one. This is it. So, let's see what. Excuse me, I got some kind of little hair or something in my eye. This is the Isis from the Isis Oracle deck, and Temple of. Hold on a minute. Let me find it. And I'm sorry, I'm not more prepared. Okay, Temple of Black Obsidian, page 174. So the number 174 is also part of this message from Mama. And this is the now moment, right now. Okay, the message for right now. 174. Okay, there we go. The Dark Healing Chamber. Beloved Initiate, the most challenging task is to confront an external enemy, but to take courage in both hands and journey within to meet our own dark self and begin the healing task of bringing love, acceptance, and light to it. That is the sacred purpose of any enemy, within or without, to bring us more deeply into our own being as we seek to find and heal the darkness within. Beloveds, if you were really paying attention to the things that I was saying earlier, you will understand this is right on point. And as I was reading this, there was another part of me speaking to me and saying, this is the concept of Osiris and Set. This is the concept of Osiris and Set inside of yourself. The Cherokee have a story of the two wolves. They call them the two wolves. Okay? And the one that wins is the one that you feed. Because the one who you feed, this is the one who becomes the strongest. Whether you're feeding its mind, its spirit, its form, it will become the strongest because you feed it the most. But what the ancestors are telling you is it's not about feeding one more than the other. You have both because you need both. You have to find balance. And I really want you to think about that Osiris story and why Set cut him up in all those pieces. I believe it was 14 total. And like I said, even with that, you have that sexual Isis cutting off her thumb to use as a golden phallus, okay, with magic, to bring that spirit back into alignment. Okay. Whoa. That is the sacred purpose of any enemy. Think about it, beloveds. These entities, these energies, have been given so many names. Satan, Saturn, Set. So many different names. From every culture that exists. Okay? And we always want to, we hear the stories, and we think it's about what's outside. But it's about what's above us, what's inside of us, and what's outside of us. That is the Holy Trinity of it all. That is the understanding That is the alignment. You know, you have to understand descending and ascending. That is the Jacob's ladder. That is the bridge that we have to get to. And that is what is happening with the lowering of the veils, beloveds. Like I keep saying, that is why we're now starting to hear and see and awaken. As we're calling it awakening. But this is what it is. It is an action. It is what is happening. And if you are uncomfortable in your soul and in your spirit, and you see things and you understand what is going on, and you're part of it. If you're still going about life like la na 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 na, you're not tapping into it, and you're still asleep in that third dimensional frequency. You know, you're not rising up into this fourth or getting ready up there in that fifth. You're still quagmired in this third. And you're stuck because a lot of you won't let your baggage go. You won't forgive yourselves. It's not about the other people. It's not about what they did to you. It's about what you did after that for you. It's about healing. You are the temple. You have the most fertile soil that there is. You have the most magical, miracle producing energies inside of you, just waiting for you to know yourself and believe in yourself, and to use and utilize yourself, because that is how you worship the mother. Okay? By being the mother. Okay. The Temple of Black Obsidian is a ruthlessly honest place of raw love and healing, truly profound and lasting. Deep relief and transformation can occur here. Black obsidian is protective and revealing. They made mirrors out of it, lovers. It will prevent harm from external or internal forces, but it will also reveal that which has been lurking in the shadows of the self, trying to avoid being brought out into the open for fear of condemnation. So worried about what Sally Sue gonna say about your divine abilities, what you can see, what you can hear, what you can know. They gone crazy. They gonna and you deny your divinity. Every time you worry about what somebody else is going to think, you put that energy above your own. That's your set. That you're worrying, that's kicking your ass, that's killing you, that's slicing you up into pieces. And you're going to need that feminine Isis yin yang to put you back in frequency. You are a temple, baby. You are a temple. Get you some obsidian. Okay, if you're having difficulties aligning yourself, or you feel that you're being attacked, or that something is preventing you from thinking clearly, from praying clearly, from connecting with your guides clearly, step up and help yourself. Everything is here for you. Know yourself. Okay. It will prevent harm from external or internal forces, but it will also reveal that which has been lurking in the shadows. Oh goodness, I didn't know we were already at 50 minutes. Okay. So 5, guys. I was told to look up there. 5. Black obsidian is, or 50. Black obsidian is protective and revealing. It will prevent harm from external or internal forces. Yin and yang. It will also reveal that which has been lurking in the shadows of the self, trying to avoid being brought out into the open for fear of condemnation. The biggest challenge we face in entering the temple of black obsidian is our own unwillingness to love and accept all parts of us. And again, if you know the story of Isis and Osset, and Isis, Osar, let me just try to speak English, okay? Isis, Osiris, Nephthys, and Set, and Horus. But if you know the 4, you know that they were all in the womb, or all created or connected at once. Okay? Think about this with family. Okay? Okay. The initiate who is invited to enter the temple of black obsidian enters into his or her own shadow, the part of us that is hidden from our own awareness. And I gotta stop a minute because Amun, A-M-O-N, has what we say amen when we pray, has been I've been having to read and know and just guided to this and understanding even the letters of it, okay? That Alf, that beginning, that A, and understanding what it is, and it means the hidden one. Alright. The initiate who is invited to enter the temple of black obsidian enters into his or her own shadow, the part of us that is hidden from our own awareness and is usually only experienced in relationship to others, quite often as projection. Lady Isis is the dark priestess of the temple of black obsidian, invites you now to confront the parts of your own ego that you have denied previously. Why? Because in doing so, you will gain more freedom, come to know yourself more wholly, and you will find that life experiences, opportunities, relationships, and breakthroughs that you have not been able to reach will suddenly become available to you. The dark chamber always leads to the light chamber, but one cannot avoid the initiation of the temple of black obsidian on the pathway to more light. And for me, this is for everybody. But for me, what it's speaking to me, and I'm going to share that with you, is what this whole sexual encounter with myself was all about. It was that freeing. I have been writing poetry and envisioning the connection being only with the sacred male and myself, but never realizing the form, the feel, the weight, the substance of what that sacred female was. And now and I'm there. And I'm like, I've been missing out, Jack. I've been missing out. Because this right here, this knowing, this is what life feels like. When you connect in this way, baby, you have connected with your spiritual self again, your spiritual first mind, so to speak, your spiritual high mind. And it's a wonderful thing. But just like it says, this is the path, and we have to go through. In order to get here, you've got to look at the darkest parts of yourself. And you've got to understand why they were fragmented, why it's not whole, why it was cut up, and what each section, each fragment, each fractal, each piece represents. And you've got to overcome that. You've got to battle it, so it no longer impacts you. Because coming out of this temple of black obsidian, you're not going to be the same. Things don't look the same. They don't feel the same. And you're actually able to adapt to something that you have to give faith to, because it's all brand new to you right now in this awareness, in this state of the frequency, in this phase of the frequency. And so it's about trusting. It's about creating an intimacy with that knowing, a loving of yourself, of this new spirit in you. Okay, let me move it forward. I'm never going to get through. Okay. Isis will assist you in preparing for this journey by encouraging you to not allow yourself to become your own worst enemy. Most of the fear we have before the dark chamber of healing is the fear of our own self-criticism and rejection. Isis declares that readiness for the dark chamber requires a willingness to exercise non-judgment, compassion, and a readiness to accept the self in all expressions. So, beloveds, even those broken pieces of you, even those sad parts of you, even those little punk parts of you, okay, even the crybaby parts of you, even the parts that want to whine, okay, you have to accept all of you, and you have to integrate all of you back into that spirit. You have to let that spirit hover like a vulture, okay, symbolic, and raise you, just like Planet Earth and that scene with Jaden Smith. To safely enter the dark chamber and be healed, you must be prepared to give yourself love unconditionally. You must be able to recognize judgments that you hold towards yourself, not as truths, but as old patterns. Beloveds, this is why the successful initiation of the dark chamber is a truly advanced stage of soul development. The heart has become willing to love unconditionally, and the initiate must be able to witness feelings that rise with kindness and acceptance, but not fall into them, overwhelmed, crushed, or defeated by any darkness found within. It is worth the challenge. It is worth the challenge, because finding peace from pain, self-criticism, self-doubt, fear, and self-judgment through healing in this temple is a gift beyond measure. Attune. Create a ritual with an obsidian for yourself, beloveds, and merge into that healing temple, okay? With your thoughts and your meditations, opening up frequencies of healing and reconnecting and intent with spirit. your original form. Okay, I'm going to read the incantation. Okay. I call upon the temple of black obsidian. I call in the love of Isis so strong, stronger than any judgment or attack. It heals and makes whole any past wrong. I now choose to see the truth of my whole being. I know, I see. How is this pain I played a role? I choose to let pain of judgment be released. I choose to love and accept with deep peace, transformation and healing. Now come to me. I love all parts of my being, infinite and free. And that was that card. And I'm going to show it to you again. And beloveds, I'm going to ask you to look into the colors, yellow, purple, and silver. Okay, not yellow, gold. Mama said gold. Excuse me. Gold, purple, and silver. And look at the dimensions. There are dimensions in this card. There are layers. There's almost like a three-dimensional quality to it. I want you to see the fragments. I want you to see it back whole again. I want you to know what it represents. I want you to understand what the three prongs, see those three circles? There's 4 circles, okay? On the outside, I'll put it that way. I'll just go this way because there are a lot more circles. But, you know what? Count the circles yourself. There we go. Let's see. There we go. Count the circles yourselves, beloveds, because I'm not supposed to give you anything more than that. Okay. This is the Temple of Black Obsidian, the Dark Healing Chamber. And that was the 3rd card that was pulled. This is the 2nd card that was pulled. Stay true and be in your power. Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of Divine Authority. And this is one of my favorites, because she's strutting, baby. She dancing. She letting you know, I got the power. I shot the sheriff. I did not shoot the deputy. And you see that hut? We was just talking about that vulture. See the wind. See the movement. Let the card speak to you. See the energy on that crook. Look at the colors of it. Gold and silver again. Understand, beloveds. Okay, stay true and be in your power. Let's see. Let's see what it says. 165. Turn to 166. Okay. Stay true and be in your power. Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of Divine Authority, you are a sovereign divine being with spiritual authority and freedom within you. You do not need permission from anyone to be who you are and live your life as you so choose. This is your divine birthright. So, beloveds, I hope you see that this whole little video is in alignment. Okay? This is the message for you. This is the download. This is what you're supposed to receive. This is what I sat in this chair and put this wig and this jewelry and this dress and bra and stuff on for you. Okay? Because I was very comfortable in my PJs. Okay? And no wig on. Alright? Okay, let me get back. Guard it as the precious treasure that it is. And remember that you are a divine being. The Flail and Crook, often held by Osiris, are symbols of divine royalty and dominion. These symbols remind us that within we hold great dominion, spiritual authority, and freedom to be the sovereign ruler of our own self. This does not mean that we have to control life or others or even the environment around us, but it does give us complete and utter choice to become as spiritually awake, free, and self-determined as we wish to be, as well as providing us with complete choice as to what our values and actions will be this lifetime. There is no permission required from anyone apart from yourself to be and live your truth. There are many voices that will test you on the journey from illusionary shackles of fear, loss, or abandonment that may hold you back or tempt you into giving your power away to others. You shall awaken from the testing into the realization of spiritual independence within. Beloveds, y'all saw me shuffling these cards. Okay? There is no coincidence. Okay? This is co-creation. This is spirit in a vessel doing what she needs to do for her babies. Those with ears to hear and eyes to see. And enough sense to know. Enough common sense to know what a mother is and what a mother does. And you are not feral and wild children that have just been scattered and left. You are not less than. You never were. Wake up to who you are. Believe it. Love it. Embrace it. Fight for it. Die for it. My ancestors have, baby. And this I know. So you can put up your little pictures of, people beating children and this and this and that. Baby. If you could only see. If you could only know what I see and what I've known. Okay? You wouldn't even put that up there like that. Okay. Let me get rid of that righteous indignation. Because that's been, whew. Okay. Alright. Flail and Crook. This does not mean that we have to control life of others or even the environment around us. But it does give us complete and utter choice to become as spiritually awake, free, and self-determined as we wish to be, as well as providing us with complete choice as to what our values and actions will be this lifetime. There is no permission required from anyone apart from yourself to be and live your truth. There are many voices that will test you on the journey from illusionary shackles of fear, loss, or abandonment that may hold you back or tempt you into giving your power away to others. You shall awaken from the testing into the realization of spiritual independence within. So, beloveds, no matter who the hell you done gave your power to, call upon the most ancient warrior energy known to your DNA, known by your ancestors of many names, and coming from many places, dimensions, and with righteous indignation. You send that inside of yourself, and you ask for it to go to war and fight for you. Okay? Ask those blockages to be removed, to be cut, to be shot, to be whatever, dismembered, decapitated, however you want to see those negative energies be no more inside of you, inside of your knowing, inside of yourself. Don't fear that. If you feel that you cannot handle it, or that you let it do something to you, or you went and did something, and that you cannot be redeemed, you won't even redeem yourself. You don't even think you're worthy. You're worthy, baby. You're worthy. You are so worthy. You are so worthy. My mama created you. You are worthy. Wake up. Wake up and own your worth. Live. Rise. Shine. Know yourself. Okay, let's move it. Of course, there is more to spiritual authority than just recognizing that it lies within you. There are times when you must act on it, guard it, and protect it, which means recognizing when others seek to influence over you for their own reasons. And baby, sometimes these are the ones that you've spilt your guts to the most. These are the ones that you have opened your heart and just given the key to. Be on guard. Be on guard. And just like you gave that key, you can demand your key back. You can change the damn locks. Okay? You can empower yourself to say, there is no door. And nothing that I don't want in my energy can get in. You have that power. Know yourself. Sometimes there are times when you must act on it, guard it, and protect it, which means recognizing when others seek to exert influence over you. It's getting ready to storm, you guys. So if the lighting has changed, that's what it is. It's storming outside. And the energies, woo. There are times when you must act on it, guard it, and protect it, which means recognizing when others seek to exert influence over you for their own reasons. Or, excuse me, or when you are being manipulated out of your own authority, becoming blind to your own power of choice, and instead believing that things are the way that they are, and you cannot question or query. Sometimes, during such challenges, to wield the crook and flail, to exert one's own spiritual authority, requires that you stand your ground and remain true to your knowing. This is not about achieving a certain outcome or attempting to control something or someone, or even forcing things to be as you wish they could be. Standing your ground means always telling yourself the truth, and not selling out or giving away something that has genuine spiritual truth means you're not sugarcoating it. And meaning for you, okay? It is not about making another see things the same way. It is about honoring your own truth. And if your truth is wise enough to include compassion, then honoring the other, even when the other disagrees with you or seeks to harm you out of their own fear, you do not have to challenge another in order to honor your truths and inner authority. I'm learning that. If you feel that another has to agree with you in order for your authority to be intact, then it isn't genuine inner authority at all. The fact that you don't need to have the agreement of others in order to live an empowered life can be a liberating realization. Ashe, 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 amen, I hope. Yet, there are times when life can feel like an assault, yes, against your truths, with many challenging you. For those souls who have come to master spiritual authority in this lifetime, there is a test to remain true without becoming dogmatic, to honor what you know is true without minimizing, judging, or dismissing the truths of another that are different to yours, but just as true to them. That's compassion. That's empathy. That's understanding what spiritual expression of diversity is all about. Mama loves all her kids, okay? And she interacts with them differently. That's why we have different personalities. But a lot of traits are so much the same. Why? Because they were spiritual traits that we were imprinted with from the very beginning. And no matter what the life, they don't go nowhere. Yet there are times when life can feel like an assault against your truths, with many challenging you. For those souls who have come to master spiritual authority this lifetime, there is a test to remain true without becoming dogmatic, to honor what you know is true without minimizing, judging, or dismissing the truths of another that are different to yours, but just as true for them. You have the power to create and own your reality, and you don't need permission from anyone else to do this. Honor your spiritual sovereignty. Let the Lady Isis help you find your spiritual authority and freedom of choice now. If you have pulled the Queen of Heaven card as well as this one, you are guided to deeply question the power of external authority figures in your life. We didn't pull that one. Whether they be spiritual teachers, gurus, parents, or employers. These beings may be doing their best to help you, but it is up to you to find your own truths. These beings can be mirrors for your own awareness at best. Understand, a lot of the beings that we manifest in our lives, like I said earlier, they are the soulmates. They are the ones we made contracts with, who are here, who will teach us. Be it light or shadow, they are going to teach us, and we agreed to it. Okay, and we know them. That is why they are so familiar to us, and that is why we are so drawn to the lesson, because it is one that our soul and spirit needs. Okay. You are guided to exercise care and discernment about any issue that feels like it is compromising your sense of self and personal power in such relationships. That issue is a soul healing to happen. Look within and see if you can grow through it in some way. There's much self-confidence trying to emerge from within you. Seeking to hand over any responsibility for your own willing well-being to another can be tricky and ultimately self-destructive path, even though it may seem to start off as a relief of stress about some concern or other. This card also guides you to take responsibility for your health into your own hands too. Advice from health professionals and doctors can be helpful and sometimes can be mistaken. It is up to you to decide for yourself how you wish to work with your body. Don't be scared. Listen to the advice given by other professionals. But remember, your life is your spiritual gift. Don't be afraid to live it in your own way. And I'm not going to read the ritual, but I will read incantations of the Crook and Flail. You can say this incantation to break any vow of this or another lifetime. You will sense those past vows as an inner block or drain that can keep you captive to a relationship or relationship pattern that you know does not serve you, but you cannot seem to break through. As though you are somehow tied to it beyond your conscious will. You can also say at any time you feel confused, you are seeking permission for how you live your life, or that you need to call your power back. Crook and Flail, Flail and Crook, I now declare with intention clear, I am a sovereign being of love divine. I call back my power, full and complete. I break all vows of giving away my authority. I release the lie that my authority may be taken from me. I surrender only to the light of my own divine essence. Making love to myself. Crook and Flail, Flail and Crook, I now declare with intention clear, I am a sovereign being of love divine. And I'm going to tell you, I've been on, Mama gave me to watch the Bruce Lee series that came out in 2008, and it's on Netflix right now. And Spirit has been speaking to me so powerfully through this. And I'm understanding that this was the firstborn son. This is what a firstborn son is. These are the indigos. These are the ones with this righteous indignation regarding racism and things that are unfair or bullying the weak. And it is why our lives began, especially the childhood, all the trauma, because all of that needed to be in our awareness. And that is what formed us and gave us that warrior stance and understanding and reconnecting to that. That is why I never knew why the art of war resonated so much with me, or the yin and yang symbol, until I'm watching this series. And there's like 50 episodes. They're not that long, but it's very spiritual. It's not him fighting, just a showy. He's fighting, but that's not the intent. The intent is to show you the spiritual philosophy that this firstborn son exemplified, and that he was a messenger. Okay. Okay, that was that card. Let's go to the next one and the last one. And I'm sorry if it's getting, like I said, so dark. It is still very early here, but it is storming outside. It's gray and the winds are blowing and howling, and the energy is wonderful. I love storms. So if you can't, I hope you can see me. I can see me on here. The dark mysteries. Enter the chamber of the dark goddess. Beloveds, we've got two um, of the dark cards. And I guess you could call the Crook and the Flail a dark card as well, because it's all dealing with your own inner demons, your own inner darkness, your own inner adversaries, your own inner parts that don't want to wake up, that don't want to graduate, that don't want to arise and ascend, that don't want to be integrated, that you are not realizing you're being tested and you're not answering those questions. Okay, you think you can skip them. It don't work that way. You're going to do those questions. Okay? And when it's all over with, the test of my heart, deal with it. The dark mysteries, enter the chamber of the dark goddess. Hold on, here we go. I hope you can see. I love those horns. The horns have been speaking to me lately. The disc is mirror. Beloveds, that also looks like a carnelian to me. I don't know. I'm going to have to research what that color there is. But I also see the Anka nut. Like I said, pay attention to the colors. Pay attention to what you see, the shapes. Pay attention to the symbols. Pay attention to the numbers of things. And let them speak to you. Let them speak to you. Okay. Here we go. Acting like I had already gone to the page, y'all. It's dark in here. My little energy is like, ah! Not that it's dark in here, but that you guys can't see me, or I'm in the dark while I'm trying to do this. Okay. 194, the dark mysteries. 194. Alrighty, here we go. Dark. In the dark, y'all. Okay. The dark goddess calls you to her inner chamber where she holds a test. Another test, y'all. And a gift for you. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within that have been secretly holding you back. The gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all its forms. Will you accept her call? Your time for deeper initiation is here. And beloveds, this is so resonating with me. So if you see me making faces or acting more weird than usual, just know that this card that's smacking me is speaking to me really deeply right now, because this is really a lot of confirmation for me, based upon just some things that are going on right now. So let me get to it before it gets too dark. When the dark goddess calls you, it is a life-changing experience. It is not always easy, but the rewards for those brave enough to answer her call and enter her inner chamber are tremendous indeed. The rewards are a life lived more fearlessly. The gift of loving and being just who you are in truth, without having to impress or bow to another out of fear of rejection. It is a more open and expansive way to live, and it attracts the bounty of the Dark Mother. Her gifts of love, opportunity, peace, and prosperity, well-being, and wisdom, it takes a strong soul to go through this test and into the liberation it delivers. But you are ready, dear initiate of the light. The dark goddess calls you to initiation when you have been working on your own shadow, bringing your whole self to light. During such times, we often need help, as shadow work can be uncomfortable, painful, and just quite difficult to undertake, as we are working with unconscious material, trying to bring it into the light of our conscious awareness. And beloveds, my name is not Mother with Wisdom for nothing. Spirit gave that to me because I am a cosmic midwife. Okay? And for some years now, I've attempted to start some things dealing with rebirthing, especially amongst the sisters. And this is all. I have grown tremendously. And I know that everything and every choice that I have made has led me to this place, on this path that I am right now. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for where I am right now. And I feel more empowered and more sure and more spiritual than I've ever felt in my entire 52 years, this lifetime. So it's powerful. Okay. I'm moving closer to it because it's getting dark to read. See? Okay. Working with the shadow, the parts of us that were deemed unlovable, or the parts that seem too marvelous to actually be us, requires courage. Listen, beloveds, this is about you as well. The dark goddess will call you when your own shadow needs healing and integration, when something within is holding you back, when instead, if acknowledged and brought into the light of awareness, it could actually help you move forward. Often the shadow element that needs integration when the dark goddess is present is power in some form or other. It may be personal power, spiritual power, or your relationship to power that needs to change for you to blossom and for life and its gifts to manifest more abundantly for you. And that has happened. I no longer have a fear of success. And that fear of success was a generational, I don't want to use the word curse, but it was put into my bloodline. And it came up. It even was most felt during the Trail of Tears and all of this when slavery, and this is when I feel it the most because of this. And I've seen different things that relate this to me, so it's very powerful. Beloved, it's very powerful. Okay. Becoming more powerful does not necessarily mean gaining more force, but more often for advanced souls, it actually means surrendering our will into alignment with greater forces of divine will. That's what's happening. Making love to myself. Get it? Allowing us to consciously participate in the flow of life, sensing the signs and nudges that lead us towards our greatest manifestation of soul this lifetime. Often when we are reclaiming our power and defining for ourselves what it is to be powerful, we are confronted with fears of loss, failure, abandonment, and rejection. It can be painful at times. But I don't know if y'all hear the lightning and the thunder, but woo! But it is powerful. We are confronted with fears, loss, failure, abandonment, and rejection. It can be painful at times, but accepting and releasing the pain brings such deep relief and happiness to the self. It is good to confront these fears with a loving and firm approach and be open to taking risks and growing anyway. This is what Isis, as the dark goddess, teaches us. I'm trying to get closer so you can see. This is what Isis, as the dark goddess, teaches us. Not to be afraid to go into the dark places and the difficult feelings within. They may seem ugly at first, yet if we allow ourselves to go there with some conscious awareness in place, consciously be aware that you are protected, consciously be aware that this is for your best interest, consciously be aware, like I said, that you're not entering it alone. Consciously be aware that it is a test and that you have the strength and the ability to endure. This is what Isis, as the dark goddess, teaches us: not to be afraid to get into the dark places and the difficult feelings within. They may be ugly at first, yet if we allow ourselves to go there with some conscious awareness in place, we can realize that these parts of us just need love and acceptance. And those parts that we once reviled often blossom and turn into our greatest assets in a more conscious, helpful version of themselves. My own sexuality, my own power over my own sexuality, understanding how powerful my sexuality really is, claiming that part of being a goddess. A goddess is a powerful sexual being, and there is no shame in that. There is no guilt in that. There is no pride in or ego in knowing that and owning that. That is how you are designed. That is where your greatest strength comes from, in knowing that about yourself. Okay. We need radical trust to do this inner work and take high initiation. The dark goddess will support and nurture you through her tests as she guides you to receive the gift of more of yourself. No longer shackled in fear and hidden away, but ready to be in the world with brightness and vigor. And beloveds, allow, invite this kind of knowing and wisdom in. Pray for it, ask for it, speak it. And when that fear comes up or bubbles up, or when those old patterns, you start to see them, cut them off. Back up, rewind. If that's what you need to do, realign, refocus, redirect, re-energize, renew, resurrect. Okay, I'm gonna do the incantation. Let's see what it says. It is most effective if you take one moment to be in your heart, perhaps even placing your hand on your heart when repeating the incantation. Sublime Isis, dark and sweet, through my hidden self I meet. I honor this self and accept. No longer do I fear, shame, or reject. You gift me with myself complete, sublime Isis, dark and sweet. Beloveds, I could not write this. I could not write this. This is, all of this for me is so very symbolic. It is so very symbolic of where we are as human beings and how much we actually need to reclaim ourselves is the best word, that I can think of right now, is to spiritually reclaim ourselves. And I said I was, working towards a panel with black men for specifically, and I am still looking. I'm compiling a list of people. I haven't contacted anyone just yet. I'm still looking, and I'm going to pray over it and have ceremony and all this good stuff over it before I even send out the invites, knowing that freedom of choice is freedom of choice, and those that do agree are soulmates, and we have made this contract to do this at this time, and that there is a matureness and a focus on specifics in the human evolution of allowing ourselves to step back into our spiritual power and spiritual knowing of ourselves. So, beloveds, that's long enough, and that's where I am with this, and I hope it all came out the way I intended it or hoped or prayed for. I hope you get what you needed from it. I know that when I go look at it again, I get gifts, okay, from this, because I actually see the different ancestors, and I actually see some of the wisdom keepers, the energy of them, and I hear them, and so to actually be able to, because of the technology, to witness this now, this high priestess, it is it becomes easier and easier to love yourself. It becomes easier and easier to own your divinity. It becomes easier and easier to allow others their process, and and not take it personal, but know that that is their process, and that you agreed to be in that process for them, whether you think it's a positive interaction or a negative interaction. It is a test that they manifested with your energy, and you agreed to it. That's why you're there. And if you don't want to be there, then that's part of the agreement as well. Walk away with no regrets, understanding that life is motion. It is adaptation. Spirit spoke to me a couple of days ago with something that I'm still kind of digesting and working on, and that is, life is about adaptation. Adaptation is survival. If you are not able to adapt your personal self, your personal selves, your fragments, back into a spiritual awareness, then this world will chew you up. You will not survive. You will not survive intact, and you will keep repeating and repattering. That is what karma is. You have to raise yourself out of that. Out of that. And you do that by knowing yourself. You do that by loving yourself. And, beloveds, there are so many ways. Rebirthing is the best way. And yes, it is one of the most painful ways, because you are entering that shadow. You're re-entering the womb with an awareness of yourself, going back in there, knowing that you're protected, okay, because you're put in a safe spiritual environment by the practitioner or by the person who's conducting the rebirth, and you're being taken back into situations or back into energy that causes all kind of triggers and flashes to happen in you, and you'd rather not experience that uncomfortableness. But baby, in order to grow, it hurts. That's what growing pains is. That little duck that breaks out of that egg, it hurts. Those little chicks, it hurts. That to become that butterfly, it hurts. Change hurts. You have got to change. You have got to adapt. And if the word change has too much different energy to it that's not a word for you, choose adapt. Go to a thesaurus. Find a word that resonates with you. And let that be. Feed yourself that word. Just like I said about renewing your health. You speak it into yourself. I regenerate. I am able to regenerate. I am able to renew my energy when it is low. Speak it into yourself. Speak it. Understand your sovereignty, your divinity. Stop letting people tell you you're stupid and you have... You're hopeless. You're stupid. You're lazy. You're blah, 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 all that throwing up, just throwing up all over you. And you just lap it up. Know yourself. Know yourself. Love yourself. Vibrate higher. Get intimate. Get intimate with yourself. And after that, believe me, there are no more secrets. There are no more secrets. There is no more, what I can say, recessive shyness, so to speak, because with that encounter comes an awareness, an intimate awareness of the reality that is you as a spiritual, physical, emotional, mental being. And after that kind of awareness, it don't shut off. And that's what all these downloads is right now that I'm trying to deal with. And like I said, you know, I understand why when I see the goddesses, they have so many hands and they have so many tools. Because that was one of my, you're a goddess, why you need that? I'm the why girl, okay? I'm the why high priest. Why? Since I was little, everything is why. And so, well, if you're a goddess, why you need all it? Because You need all of these hands. Time is an illusion. You need all of these tools to deal with your realities, things that are confronting you. You are not left with nothing. You are given tools. Use them. The gods have given them to you. Use them. Okay, beloveds, that is going to do it for me. And like I said, it is storming outside, and I love storms. If my mother was, I feel my mother around me when it storms sometimes. And I can hear her, you know you need to get off of that computer right now, right? You know you need to get off of that computer. You know that's electricity, right? And I hear all of this, and it tickles me because I know it's her. And so, okay, I'm done, beloved. I'm done. Namaste. And again, I give my thanks to those two sisters, Tilly and Alchemy. And I want to say thank you. And I have written in the comments, thank you, because the collective spirit is so confirming. It is so empowering. It is so renewing to come across those who are vibing in the same frequencies, those with the same or similar missions, those with the same hearts and capacity to love and know what love is for humanity. So, thank you. Okay, that's it. Namaste.